Hello, excuse the windy day here in Napa. I just wanted to record a quick video about trying to sell a house which needs to go through a probate. So if you've recently had a loved one or relative who's deceased, one of the very important matters that you're going to have to deal with at some point is the probate of their estate. Now what that means basically is when a person passes on, they're no longer there to sign paper when the property sells. And legally speaking, that can create difficulties. And the solution for that is to go through, to put the papers and the property through a probate court. And what that does is it appoints one person, usually a beneficiary under the will, can be the executor or a beneficiary, who will then be the person who will be signing the paperwork so that legally the property can be sold. And until that's done, it's going to create a delay. And so it's important that this is dealt with at some point. Generally speaking, within a year of the death of the person it tends to be the normal time, some sooner or later depending on your circumstances. It's important to get to it at some point, because nothing can happen with the property until there's one person who's legally appointed to sign and is able to sell that court. Now, an attorney will be able to talk you through the process and to file the paperwork for you. We can help you with that process. If it seems daunting, we can help you find an attorney. We regularly deal and purchase properties that are going through probate or haven't yet. We understand the process, so it doesn't faze us at any level. We find that those people who are taking a property through a will or have inherited a property need to get their head around what they want to do, and it can be a difficult process. It's important to know what the tax implications can be. Obviously, you don't take tax advice from strange people on the internet, so get your own accountant to advise you. But in general terms, if you inherit a property and you sell it, you will not be subject to capital gains tax, which is usually one of the bigger taxes to be afraid of when you sell property, and that's a huge benefit. So the recommendation would be to sell a property as quickly as you can, if that is your intent. If you do hold on to it, and if development is made to the property, then you're going to lose that exemption, and your basis on which the property will be valued will increase. It's just one factor. There's many other things that come into play. That tends to be the motivator that I've discovered that signals to people. Also, we have found that where there are expenses to do with a property, I mean, if you're not a property investor or you're not used to having investment properties, the idea of having a property which is incurring property tax, which needs an upkeep, depending, it could be well kept or not, certainly if there's code violations, if it's not kept up to speed, all those things can kind of increase the cost of holding a property. Now it can be rented out, but that indeed brings you further down the road of being a property investor, and you can rent the property, it can bring in an income, but again, that brings with it a certain element of work that for many people that have just inherited a property or gone through death of a loved one is not something that they're willing or able to deal with. And so we often find that they're quite happy to sell the property onto someone like myself who's a property investor, and then we take on the burden of doing all that other kind of work. So if any of these things that I'm talking about resonates with you or is similar to something that you're interested in knowing more about, please feel free to drop us an email or contact us on the website. I'd be happy to talk you through what you need to do. And also, if you're interested in selling one of these properties or you've got a relative who's dealing with these issues, we'd be happy to talk to them. So